Welcome to our family square foot garden, part 5. It's been about 2.5 weeks since my last update, and quite a bit's happened in the garden. First thing I wanted to point out is that I went ahead and built what I'm now calling my nursery, which is a 4 square foot area where I have put the plants that were demolished by the rabbits. I have a coreopsis, blue glade flower, a daisy, and another Shasta daisy there on the closest to the bottom of the screen. So that's the nursery. So I went ahead and built that so that I can take care of all these plants that have been munched. And these are my herbs and flowers. For the most part, they're doing pretty well. I did add a few plants, at least temporarily, that were from the Missouri Botanical Garden. They'll eventually go in our school prairie, in our schoolyard, but there's some plants there. So everything has been going pretty well with those folks. I just basically have been moving out the plants that the rabbits have liked. There's no sense in keeping them in there if the rabbits are going to eat them. Also, the basil plants are doing well, one on the far right and one on the far left. We made pesto the other night and I was thrilled because my kids really liked it. But the herbs are going well. I have a couple extra square foot left that I can go ahead and fill at some point. So we'll walk on down to the garden. I've started working on adding some extra space to some extra square feet. It's a sunny day today, so there's maybe some glare, so I apologize for that. We'll come down here, and one thing I guess that's new is the fact that I just took out most of my onions. I think there's a mole in there. I'm going to try the castor oil mix tomorrow to see if I can chase away the moles. But I went ahead and just kind of emptied this bed. I planted some beans, some more radishes, and some carrots in there. And there's like 2 or 3 onions that are still growing, so I left those in there. Here is the extra bed that I'm building. I went ahead and used better materials on this one. I have used cedar boards as opposed to pine. And I think from now on, when I have to replace things, I'll use cedar. I just couldn't afford it, the expense of using cedar when I built the beds the first time. So this bed will be used for fall plantings of cauliflower and broccoli and cabbage. I've got those growing in seed pots inside right now. I started those about a couple weeks ago, and they seem to be doing well. And I'll move them out here into this point in the very beginning of August, according to the calendar. Tomatoes are going well. You can see there's some ripening tomatoes there. The yellow pear tomato behind there, we harvested our first yellow pear tomato tonight and ate it at dinner. I did feed my plants. You can see that these peppers are doing a little bit better. I just want to show you the difference between a fed plant and a not fed plant. We use the garden tone from, I think it's Espoma, I don't know how to pronounce it. But this pepper plant was fed about a week and a half ago. And this is the exact same pepper plant, planted on the exact same day, which I just fed a couple days ago. So you can see the difference between these two plants. Even though a Mel's mix, I think, I used the right sort of compost and everything Mel said to do, but I certainly think that we needed to feed the plants. So that's a fed plant, that's a non-fed plant, again using the garden tone from Espoma. I pulled out all my peas. They were all right here, and before they came out I planted this squash, so this is zucchini squash. My okra is right here, is now getting more sunlight, and you can see that I have some okra growing there, so we were deciding tonight when we start to harvest them how we're going to prepare them. These tomato and Eggplants are doing pretty well. I will say that I haven't had any of the flowers stick with the eggplant. I think maybe it's still a little bit too early. They've been dropping, but I'm hopeful that I've got one flower that looks like maybe it's going to bear some fruit soon. So we've been eating tomatoes and eating radishes, eating peas, although the peas are all gone now, but I'll plant a fall crop in a little bit. Here's the corn, and I just have really concluded that the Mel's mix is not good for corn. We had a good wind the other day that just came and blew it all over, so I actually put the pea trellises that I had around, for the peas, I just put it around the corn to kind of hold that in place. And we have our first tassel. You can see the first tassel there, but I just don't know what kind of crop I'll get out of this. I plan to plant corn again next year, but oh, there's a little guy there. You see that? Right there? That guy? I don't know what he is. Big old bee, it looks like. But I'll plant corn again next year, even though it's probably not, you know, the best thing to be planting in the garden. Cucumbers, doing well. We actually have some cucumbers on there. I went ahead and fed the watermelon. They're just not going anywhere, but since I fed them the other day, they seem to be getting better. Acorn squash, 3 plants there, seem to be doing pretty well. And I went ahead and staked the mystery tomatoes. I still don't know what kind of tomatoes they are, but I went ahead and staked them. These are my cucumbers. You see that guy right there? So that's the biggest one. And so hopefully in the next week or so, we'll get to munch him. The pole beans keep going up, and I think they'll go up pretty good. Some more, that's the cucumbers, the cantaloupe. That should take off since I fed it. More tomatoes. I planted some bush beans here. And then the potatoes. I went ahead and fed the potatoes too because it didn't look so great. More pole beans here that are kind of getting up to the top. We have some all the way to the top now. The parsley that I moved that had been so badly damaged by the rabbits. My yellow coneflower, which is that's all I have. It was nubbed all the way down, started to grow back again, then the rabbits nubbed it again, so I put it down here in the fenced area. Eggplant, and these are actually looking much better than they were just a little while ago. More tomatoes, because I fed them, and carrots. They ended up getting some sort of brown on them. You see that brown there? I'm not sure why that was the case, but they seem to have bounced back okay. So I'll just see how they go. And then I planted more okra back there. Well, this is the 5th installment of our family square foot garden. Things continue to progress. I continue to learn a lot about the process of growing food, and in about a week and a half or so I'll update you on progress. Alright, thanks, hope you enjoyed.